Do you want to go to the land with Papa? You do? Should we get your collar? Who wants to go to the land? Hi, Bailey. Who wants to go to the land? Bailey's the neighbor dog. She comes over every morning to say hi. She always steals River's treats, though. Hi, Bailey girl. Who wants to go to the land? River does? Oh. All right, we should put your collar on, though, okay? Pretty foggy this morning, but we'll take her nice and slow. There's no rush because going up to the land, time stops. No stress, no commitments. Don't have to live by the clock. Gotta be careful today with the fog. So boys with no lights on. Well, the cabin looks okay. I just walked in and opened up all the windows just to air it out in here a little bit. One of the viewers had mentioned that when you go to start a fire to open the windows up a little bit and the door and get fresh air in, that helps the fire get started easier. So, not sure if it's true, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Thought I would use some of these scrap pallet boards just to kind of wall in the bottom portion of that stand, just to kind of block the wind. And no, it's not going to be pretty, and I don't really want it to be pretty. It just has to be functional. Plus I get to use up some of these boards. Well, the vote is in. I'm just talking to the viewers, River. The vast majority said use the wood box. And a couple of you even had an idea of putting casters on the bottom. I thought that was a pretty good idea, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. See, I do listen to you guys. There. That. I think that'll work. Well, I think that'll work just fine. Now I just got to throw some wood in there. The other thing several of you mentioned was it's about the perfect height for a little table, too. A little bit high with the casters, but I think that'll be just fine for setting my soda pop. Yep, when you guys first mentioned putting casters on that thing, my first thought was, why? But I tell you what, remember in the old houses where they used to have the coal chute in the basement, that little door? This is kind of the same thing. Now instead of making 10 trips through the screen door with my hands full of wood, I just pack this full of wood from the wood pile and roll it on over to the edge of the house. And I have locks on the casters too, so that once I have it where I want, I just flip the levers on them and it stays put. So, good idea, guys. Good idea. See, this is why I ask you guys. And that's the fun part of this channel, is always getting people's input and learning from other people's experience. Huh, look at that. I put some ice in the cooler yesterday when I got up here. And there was a little bit of extra piece. There wasn't quite enough room for all of it, so I threw it down on the ground here for River to lick on, and it hasn't melted yet. It's getting to be that time of year. So I was looking on my hunting app, which tells me where all the landowners live and the property boundaries and stuff like that. And, hi buddy, hi buddy. You're a good boy. You want to go for the drive? Should we go for a drive in the truck? In the van? And I noticed that there's a piece of property that came up as tax forfeit that I've never seen as tax forfeit before. So the county where I live in, some tax forfeit land they put into a conservatorship, which they save it for public use, and others they sell at auction. So it's just down the road from my land, and it's in the absolute middle of the national forest, and there's no way to get to it. And it would be probably super silly to even consider the fact about trying to pursue to purchase it. But I'm going to go look at it, just in case. I don't know if it's for sale, and I don't know what the price would be if it is for sale. And but it's literally probably a mile from here. So I'm going to walk down and take a look at it, and in the meantime do a little scouting for deer hunting coming up, and see what I think. So River and I, we're going to go for a drive. If you guys want to come with, hop in the van and we'll go for a little walk in the woods. Maybe I'll grab my shotgun too, just in case we see a bird or two. So all right, let's go. Grab your stuff. Interesting. I've never noticed this before. I've driven down this road many times going to the lake, and I've never noticed that there's this little trail in here. Huh. Well, I'll be. Looks like a big deer rub right there. And what do we got here? Coyote or wolf, one of the two. Looks kind of small, maybe coyote. Love these old cedar trees. They're the coolest little. Now that is a big old white pine. Wow, that's a big one. That is a big one. Huh. Tonight I have a little chicken orzo. It's a one-pot meal. It's some skinless, boneless chicken thighs or breasts, frozen peas, garlic, vegetable stock, and orzo, which is like a little noodle. Trying to edit some of this video from the national park trip that Hunter and I took. I'm really kind of bummed out. I got an alert on my phone that said the northern lights are probably going to be out tonight, but of course it's super cloudy out. So I did go out and take some pictures last night of the stars and the Milky Way. So I'll maybe show you a couple of those. Of course, now that I'm up here and have plenty of time, it's a cloudy day. It's about 58 degrees in here right now. It's a little chilly, but not too bad. Old river dog, he's all snuggled into his bed, wondering why I'm talking to myself. Good morning, everybody. What a blue sky. It's gonna be a beautiful day today. It's supposed to be sunny, fairly warm. Good day to get lots of things done at the cabin. I think it's time to tear out the vegetables and probably compost them. Unfortunately, I got some nice tomatoes towards the end, but it was just a little too late. The frost got them. Probably pick those peppers and dry those out, save the seeds for next year. That mint is looking pretty good still, but that can get invasive, so probably cut that back and bury it under a pile of leaves. The blueberry plants are looking good, and the raspberries are looking really good. So these raspberries, I already cut down the dead canes from this year, so all of these ones will produce for next year. You can see they're already starting to escape from the container, which is fine. I'll just mow them down if they get too much. that means those roots go all the way down underneath those boards, so they're really deep. That river dog, I think he's done growing for the year. The old goofball. Well, let's see if my measurements from home will make it. Yeah, I definitely like that better than just that single board up there. But all right, well, that's done. Next project. Well, River and I spent the morning hiking in the woods. We went and looked at that tax forfeit property. It's a really, really nice piece of property with some really nice big mature cedar trees and huge ash sit. The problem is it's over a half mile into the woods on just a cart path. So you wouldn't be able to drive a vehicle back there. I don't think you can even drive a four-wheeler back there, although the path clearly was from a four-wheeler. So the question will be: is it even for sale, or did they just decide to keep it into conservatorship? Or so maybe it's a moot point anyway. One of the things I want to do today is put some plastic up on these windows, and unfortunately it's going to really change the look of it in here because you're going to be in this bubble. River's favorite cookies? I used to call them pecan sandies, but after my last video with the pecan pie, the voting overwhelmingly came in for pecan pie. A pecan is what you go to the bathroom in, right? I'm going to take this cookie and I'm going to put it in my hand. I'm going to hide it. And you have to pick which hand it's in, okay? Alright, ready? Yep. Which hand? Which hand? Which hand? Which one? This one? Alright. Here's some of the leftover plastic that I had from the inside debacle when I put it up over the insulation and made everything mold. It's not perfect. There's rips and tears in it, but I think it'll do the trick. I think I should be able to get enough pieces to get most of the windows covered, or some of the windows covered. Not sure how I'm going to do it quite yet. It'll almost be easier just to staple it right to the 2x4s. I don't mind staples being in here because this is going to get trimmed out eventually anyway. I'm going to put vertical boards here, and then I'm going to put one 1x6 or 1x7 or whatever it takes on top as a trim board. So this will end up being covered, so I'm not too concerned about that. I'm not sure about the top, but I think I'm just going to see how she goes. We'll see how close that is. How to staple it, of course. Did you guys take my staples? It looks horrible. And I knew that it would. I don't like not being able to see out. But its function, it's coming down in the spring. It's merely to keep the snow out. You know, my kids are all off to college now, and we have a trampoline at the house that isn't going to get used anymore. And I thought about selling it, but there are some tears in it, and in the trampoline, the bouncy part, there was just a small, less than a nickel in size tear in it. And I thought, you know, I don't want to sell it and have some poor kid jumping on it and have his foot land perfectly and have his foot go through it. So I decided, just for the sake of safety, we'd get rid of it. Well, it left me with all the steel parts for the support, and I could have just brought them to the scrap yard and recycled them, but I hated to throw them away, and I was trying to think about what I could use them for. And I've always kind of thought about having a greenhouse or having something either like I can even take a temporary shower in or something, just some sort of covered thing. So I've got all this plastic from the inside of the house, and I thought I would maybe try and figure out a way to make some sort of support to throw that plastic over. So I grabbed a few of the pieces and I put them together in my own sort of way instead of how they were for the trampoline. And yeah, we're gonna see if it actually might work. So my idea was, to never mind. Well, good morning, everybody. River was just outside, and I heard him just barking. And it was his, there's a stranger here bark, not, hey, there's a squirrel in the tree bark. So I ran out to the driveway and yelled for him, and he started coming back to me right away, and his hackles were all up. So I'm not sure what he saw out there that A, made him feel like he needed to guard the place, and B, made him uncomfortable enough that his hackles were up. I don't think it was a deer, because we jumped a deer yesterday when we were walking, and his hackles definitely were not up. It was more of a prey drive response. I had to yell at him to come back to me. He wanted to run after the deer. So I don't think it was a deer. I don't think it was a squirrel, because his hackles wouldn't have been up and he wouldn't have barked like that. It would have been more of a, hey, I got a squirrel in a tree kind of bark, that kind of bark. So I don't know what it could have been. It could have been a fox, could have been a coyote. Which, if it was a fox or a coyote, he doesn't generally, he's not dog aggressive at all. So that would surprise me if he barked like that as well. I don't know, could have been a fisher, could have been, like say, a coon, could have been Sasquatch. Hey, you never know. And so I don't know what that was all about, but that was kind of weird. It will be so nice when I get my stove and my cabinets and everything put in, get rid of this mess. You know, it's mostly just junk, nails, screws, tools, Christmas lights. I don't know what I'm going to do with. Was maybe going to put them on the porch. I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. Lots of knickknacks, paddywhacks. Yeah, I'm just going to finish tidying up and then we're going to head outside and get some wood cut. Are you going to help me rake some leaves? Huh? One other thing that I needed to do this trip that I didn't mention earlier was time to put the planter pots to bed for the winter. I just like to give them some leaves to insulate them a little bit from the cold. Oh, hopefully this stuff isn't too rotten. Here I've been saving these to make beams or posts out of them too, dang it. Watch this. Yeah. So much for that idea, huh? So much for that. Well, the reason I was cutting up this birch was to use it in the wood stove in the cabin this winter. But when I'm cutting it, it feels literally just feels wet. So I'm gonna take the moisture meter and see. Oh my gosh, 29%. Wow, that's, you know, this wood has been sitting out for at least 2 years. 27%. Wow. All right, well, this is not going to get burned this year, so this can go in the back of the pile. I might as well finish splitting what I got cut and stacking it and go to plan B, I guess. Whoa. All right, bad idea. I don't know what is going on. I don't know what is going on with my equipment this trip, but my camera just shut off automatically again on me in the middle of a video. It seems like I had a light bulb go out in the shack. Everything that's electrically powered seems like it's on the fritz this weekend. So, I don't know, maybe because it's Halloween, huh? I don't know. All right, well, I'm going to get going and get this chain sharpened up here, and I will catch you guys in a little bit. Well, this is an interesting turn of events. Well, I've got most everything picked up. I need to cut a couple logs for the bedpost that I'm building. And then I think I'm going to go put the tent stand up and call it a trip. It's coming down pretty good now. Goodbye, little cabin. We will see you for deer season.